How to overcome panic attacks in less than 30 seconds. So if you're struggling with panic attacks and you are concerned about getting multiple panic attacks, or if this is something you're struggling with and you want this to go away, pay attention in this video. Look, I had panic attacks. I had several every day, and now I don't have any, to be honest with you, fully honest with you. And even if I got one, I would know exactly what to do right at that moment, just so that this never happens again, okay? So with that said, let's get started. So before I get started, if you really want to focus on overcoming panic attacks for good and you want a little bit more detailed version about what I'm going to be describing in this video, I have a link down below to a book that I've written out. It's really short, really laying out if you're not just experiencing panic attacks, but let's say you're experiencing physical symptoms, because physical symptoms are very connected with panic attacks. If you're experiencing panic attacks, you're probably experiencing generalized physical symptoms, how to deal with the intrusive thoughts that come with a panic attack, all these different things. So the link is down below. The book is absolutely free. It's something just I wish I had during my struggles, because when I was having multiple panic attacks, I didn't know why it was happening, and I had never experienced it before. And once I figured out a few things, panic attacks went away relatively quickly. So with that said, let's talk about panic attacks. Now, panic attacks are great at tricking you. They are. They're the perfect trickster. They're like nature's trick, where it convinces you that something's gonna happen. Now, look, when I got my very first panic attack, I would have understood if I got a panic attack during a really like high intense situation. Like let's say if there was like a snake, or if like there was like a tiger running at me, okay, and I'm running away. I can understand a panic attack, but I got a panic attack while at work during lunch. I remember what I was eating too. I was eating like this peanut butter like tofu wrap. It was really good, but sriracha wrap, I don't know what it was. That's not the point of this video. The point is that panic attack was so memorable, even though it was such a long time ago, I knew exactly what I was eating. Now, when I had that panic attack, I just got it at work, and I was like, during my lunch break. And I remember I was reading an article about space. And anyways, I had a panic attack when that happened, and that concerned me because it was like it just came out of nowhere. It just literally came out of nowhere. Why did that happen? Now, you may have gotten it from smoking weed. You may have just gotten it. Maybe there was a stressful situation, but what ended up happening when you got that panic attack was that you became scared of another panic attack. Now, how do you overcome panic attacks in less than 30 seconds? Okay, I'm about to tell you the answer right now. The best way to overcome a panic attack is by letting it happen. Just letting it happen. Now, I know that's probably not the answer you wanted to hear. What you were really asking was, how do I make a panic attack not happen? How do I stop a panic attack? Well, the truth is that panic attacks are fueled by you trying to stop it. That's the whole trick. Now, if you can let a panic attack happen without resisting, well, then the panic attack will burn itself out. Now, let's get a little deeper into this, okay? What is a panic attack? Let's define what a panic attack is. I don't actually like the term panic attack because it's used to colloquially, like with, generally, oh, I had a panic attack. Really what was happening when you really experienced a panic attack, like a real panic attack where you genuinely thought you were gonna die or lose control. You got a surge of adrenaline, yeah? Adrenaline is a hormone, it's more of a stimulant, and it really focuses on, there's a lot of changes in the body when you get all that rush of adrenaline. It's really connected to what we call the fight or flight response. Now, the fight or flight response is this innate mechanism that every human has, every mammal has. It's designed to protect themselves from predators. So you run away or you fight something. And so that's the generic fight or flight answer. So when you're experiencing a panic attack, you experience a surge of adrenaline. Now here's the interesting part. You're getting surges of adrenaline when there's clearly no threat, right? I like to describe it as like, if you're playing a video game, if you're a gamer, it's like music, when the music changes, when bad guys come out, so the music changes and you're like looking for bad guys and you can't find them. And so it's like even more confusing. And so it's really easy to think, oh, there's something physically wrong with me or something's happening. And it's always important, always, always, always to get everything ruled out by your doctor. But that being said, when you're experiencing panic, what actually ends up happening is you become fearful of another panic attack. Now, think of fear as fuel, as gasoline, and think of panic attacks as fires. So if you become fearful of anything, right? It could be fearful of a tiger, fearful of going to a grocery store, or what most people that experience panic attacks, fearful of getting a panic attack, well then it's like pouring gasoline to a fire. So how do you overcome a panic attack in 30 seconds? Just let it happen. Just let go and let everything happen. Most people can't do that because they actually feel like a panic attack will make them lose control because it's such a good convincer. Or what if they do pass out? Or what if they do go mad? Or what if they do go crazy? So this is why I say it's so important to understand what's happening, right? Because most of the people get tricked into the panic attack cycle because they don't understand how panic attacks work, and they go based on how they feel. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna pass out. Oh, I feel like something bad's gonna happen. Oh, I feel like my heart's gonna explode. I feel like, I'm gonna go crazy. Oh, I feel like my panic attack's never gonna end at that moment. Or I feel like I'm gonna lose control. Do you see how I can do this? Because I've experienced it. I know exactly what you're feeling. I know exactly what you're feeling because I felt the exact same thing. But with panic attacks, you can't trust how you feel. This is why, like I say, it's the trickster. It will trick you into doing what it wants, and what it wants is more fear, right? Like I say, with, if you look at panic attacks, right, and we're talking about it as adrenaline surge, well, think about fear as gasoline, right? And think of panic attacks as a fire. So if you become fearful of it, you're actually pouring gasoline and the fire gets bigger. But if you understand how panic attacks work, if you realize you won't lose control, that's a step. Oh, okay. Well, Shaan says it's not going to. Well, okay, people say you're not going to, but it still feels like it. I'm still kind of scared of it. So that's knowledge. But then once you start doing it, you start seeing, oh yeah, nothing bad does happen. You can drive and have a panic attack and still totally be okay. You can be giving a presentation. You could even be giving this video, what I'm doing, have a panic attack and it's okay. It's not a big deal. And you just let it happen, and then you realize, wow, okay, there's nothing to be fearful of. It's just a feeling. You're just running away from a feeling. Now what happens is that the gasoline dies out. The fear dies out. Now when the fear dies out, the panic attacks end up dying out. But this happens long term. Yeah, I want you to understand, once you let panic attacks happen and they're gone, they go away, but you may be experiencing a little bit more. And that's because, if you want to get deeper into it, something's happened to your nervous system is that it's gotten sensitized. So it takes just a little bit of time to desensitize. So you may be experiencing a little bit more panic attacks, but you'll notice that if you just let it happen, like what I say, what's that phrase? It's just make yourself into like a wet noodle, where you just let everything happen. And you just let go and you don't tense up your body. You just let the panic attack come and you just let it come. Do your worst panic attack. Do whatever you want. It burns out quicker. And what you'll notice is actually you not getting in the way makes it burn out faster because the body's trying to burn off the adrenaline. But when you're resisting it, when you're fighting it, when you're trying not something to happen, you're adding more fuel. You're stopping the body from burning it off. And so it lasts longer. And so once you do that a couple of times, it burns itself out. And then what happens over time now, okay, the panic attacks you'll notice gets less and less. Now that is a trend. What I mean by trend is, in general, when you zoom out a little bit, you'll notice actually your panic attacks are getting less intense. That doesn't mean that it's like this, right? But it's like it goes upward. And so sometimes you may experience a little bit more of an intense panic attack. Good, that's more of an opportunity to practice so that they go away once and for all. So so don't look at it as, if I experience a panic attack, oh my God, this was a really big one, that was something bad. No, your body just had extra pent up adrenaline. It needed to release it. You'll feel better after. And what you'll see long term is that just because you're experiencing panic attacks maybe a little bit more regularly right now, it doesn't mean you're going to experience it forever, right? Like I don't experience panic attacks. I don't remember the last time. And even if I got one for whatever reason, who cares? I know what it is. I'm just gonna let it happen and then continue on. What if I have one in this video? Okay, well, let it happen. Just do it. You guys probably won't even notice if I got one. That's it. And because I'm so carefree about it, because I understand what's happening, it doesn't even happen. But even if it happened, it's not even a big deal. So it's like, okay, But, when I was struggling, when I first I didn't know, it was so easy to think that there was something else wrong. I was like, no, there must be something physically wrong. I can't stop having panic attacks. And when I had panic attacks, just like you, I'm sure, oh my God, I felt like, oh my God, my body was exhausted. I would get even more depersonalized, even after my panic attacks, right after. And it was just so intense. And I was drained. I was just drained after each one. I used to get multiple ones a day. But really it was being fueled by the fact that I didn't know really how they worked and I just didn't let it happen. And once I did that, panic attacks were one of the first things to go away from me. And when I'm helping people through recovery, I find for them too, it tends to be one of the first things. Now that's the rule of thumb, right? I don't want you to use rule of thumbs as, like a specific situation for you, right? Like I always give the example of, in let's say Texas, where I'm at right now, the average weather is 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Does that tell you what the weather is today? Could you guess? It's not 90 degrees, it's hotter. Point is that you knowing the trend doesn't tell you today. So me telling you a trend doesn't really tell you anything about you, right? So believe that it's in panic, especially if you've gotten everything ruled out, but focus on the response. And, overall, trust in the fact that if you just let it happen, it does go away. Because if you understand panic attacks is based off adrenaline. Adrenaline is inherently finite. Physiologically, you cannot have one forever. You can't. So even at the time, if you think you have a panic attack and, oh my God, what if this one lasts forever? It doesn't happen. So anyways, I hope this video helped. Like I say, if you want to know more about overcoming panic attacks and if you're experiencing physical symptoms that come with it, if you're experiencing intrusive thoughts, if you're experiencing feelings of unreality too, it really breaks down a little bit more how to overcome it. If you want to know a little bit more about it just for interest, that's cool too. But what's the answer? Let it happen. And if you just do that, that's enough. So I hope this video helped. I'll see you in the next one.